Welcome to the second module of the three-pronged series on cycle menus. This module will be broken up into 3 parts. In this part, we'll discuss considerations to evaluate prior to building your menu, and we'll review menu planning basics. The nutritional value of the meals and snacks and compliance with USDA Child Nutrition Program requirements depends on careful menu planning. The menu determines what foods are purchased, how foods are prepared, staff qualifications for food preparation, and food preparation equipment. When planning a menu, you want to ensure that you're not only meeting the meal pattern requirements, but also offering a menu which resonates with your participants' preferences and palates. To do so, keep the following considerations in mind: meal pattern guidelines, network and share ideas, available product, seasonality or locality, participant preference, and budget. First, consider which program you're planning for. Are you developing a menu for the Child and Adult Care Food Program, National School Lunch Program, or Summer Food Service Program? Whichever program you're operating will steer you toward a different set of guidelines and a different meal pattern. You'll need to become fluent in the requirements prior to planning your menu. Next, consider which meal you're offering under that program. Meal options may include breakfast, lunch, snack, or supper. Again, each meal has a different set of guidelines and a separate meal pattern to follow. Finally, what are the age grade group requirements that you need to adhere to? Are you serving multiple groups or overlapping groups? For more in-depth training on a specific meal pattern, please visit the Oregon Department of Education Child Nutrition Program's training website. Here we are looking at 2 different meals, breakfast and lunch, under the school nutrition program. These guidelines, minimums, are what will steer your menu development and what you should keep in the back of your head as you progress through the process of building the menu. Of course, in this program, we're looking at minimums for 5 components: fruit, meat alternate, grain, milk, and of course, vegetables with various vegetable subgroups. You can see the separate age grade groups and the differences in the minimum requirements for each component, as well as the nutrient requirements at the bottom for each group. This is ODE's Weekly Lunch Planner production record, which also indicates the requirements for each component and various minimums needed to meet the guidelines. This is a great way to plan menus and create production records for each day of the week. Networking and sharing ideas. What are others doing? Once you understand the regulations for the program and meal you are planning for, you can network with other sponsors. You can network with folks across Oregon or narrow down your networking pool to sponsors who share the same geographical region as you. Are they working with a cycle menu or a fixed menu? Do they have recipes or menu ideas that are successful and those that were not so successful? Do they work with vendors or products that they really like, those that they don't, products that are available or products that aren't? Can they offer advice or guidance for you as you go through the process? Now widen that circle. What are other states doing? Research menus online. Check out options through the Institute of Child Nutrition or USDA. There's tons of information out there. Available product. Think about what product is available to you. What can you get from your distributor, from USDA foods, from local farms or processors, from the local grocery store, etc.? Does availability of certain products vary season to season? Here you can see a snapshot of available USDA foods for school year 16. Think about these items when you're formulating your thoughts around menus and recipes. These aren't only foods that may be purchased at a more discounted rate, there are also possibilities to order brown box or free items, so always stay ready to take advantage of this. Don't forget to consider seasonality and locality. What items are in season when you're planning your menu? Consider how you might rotate fruits and vegetables into and out of your menu based on the seasonality of those items. Can you bring in farm to school or local procurement? Think about local products. First, what are you currently purchasing that is local? Many times, districts are purchasing milk from local dairies or processors. Sometimes distributors or vendors are actually providing you with local products that you may not even be aware of. Ask them for a list. What other locally grown or processed materials can you incorporate into your menu? How do you want to start adding items? Can you consider harvest of the month, local food days, or start incorporating new items daily? For more information about farm to school and school garden programs, visit the Oregon Department of Education Child Nutrition webpage. Here is a gorgeous illustration of Oregon-grown fresh produce and their seasonality and availability. This can guide you to building your cycle menus and incorporating seasonal and local products. There's also a great guide provided by USDA that can help in determining the best way to find and incorporate local items into your menus. We'll touch more on this topic in Module 3, Procurement. Participant preference. The most important part is to consider your audience and their preferences. The environment in which your participants learn can be used to teach them where food comes from and the nutritional value of food. Learning about food and watching peers and teachers try new foods can help motivate participants to taste foods that they may not have experienced before or do not have access to at home. Taste testing foods prior to adding the food to the menu will encourage children to try new foods, create satisfied customers, and help save money by reducing food waste. Don't forget about including your staff. Not just the nutrition staff, but also the administrative staff, teachers, aides, and other staff within your organization. They have a lot of influence on participants in their care. If they can talk about the food they're served through various avenues, participants are often more willing to try it. Finally, like any well-run business, your child nutrition program needs a budget to help you establish priorities, make decisions, and know how your program dollars will be generated and spent. Once you're at the stage of building your menu and you have reviewed the considerations we just touched on, keep in mind the following basics: delivery and storage, familiarity, novelty, and cultural relevance, high cost versus low cost, holidays, seasons, and leftovers, preparation methods and equipment, raw versus cooked, seasonality, shapes, colors, textures, and finally, variety. Delivery and storage. The space that you have available to you will play a role in which food items you can place on your menu. It's great if you're able to buy things in bulk and save money, but do you have the space to store it? Can you accommodate large food orders with deliveries weekly, or do you need daily deliveries? Do you have enough freezer and cooler space to store items? Which items can be stored outside of refrigeration? Familiarity, novelty, and cultural relevance. A balance between things that are familiar, like chicken nuggets and hamburgers, and things that are novel or new, like chicken curry or garbanzo bean chili. This menu planning basic also provides an avenue for trying new things and learning about different foods and culturally significant foods based on the population you're serving. Honoring your participants' ethnic and cultural food preferences is essential for food acceptance. And of course, we also need to consider cost. It's a good idea to balance high-cost items with some lower-cost items to keep you on budget. Consider holidays. When do they occur? Can you accommodate a special menu? Alternately, is your site closed? Do you need to consider delivery of items over a long weekend or storage of items over a scheduled break? Think about leftovers and what will be done with them. Can they be donated? Can they be reused the next day? And how does that affect your menu? You also need to think about preparation and kitchen equipment. You may not want to have several complex recipes on the same day because it may overwhelm the kitchen space and staff. Additionally, you'll need to consider your cooking preparation schedule and what each of your kitchens can accommodate. If you have a larger organization and are planning a menu for all sites, consider whether all sites have the same or smaller equipment and staffing to meet the production needs of your menu. For instance, which items are you preparing that have to go into the oven? Do you have the time and space to cook both potatoes and pizza in the oven on the same day? Raw versus cooked foods. It's a great idea to have a balance between the two. It also provides a variety of textures and helps with workflow and equipment use. Take advantage of seasonal foods or best buys. Seasonality of foods varies by region. By incorporating seasonal and locally produced foods into meals and snacks, you can highlight the freshest and highest quality foods available to the participants you're serving. Different shapes, colors, and textures create interest in a menu. Mashed potatoes with gravy, applesauce, and a breaded chicken sandwich on a whole wheat bun with fluid milk may include some of your participants' favorite menu items and meet the meal pattern you're serving, but serving these individual menu items together in the same meal will result in a meal that is less than appealing to the eye. These menu items have similar textures, soft and smooth, similar colors, yellow, brown, and similar shapes, round. Think about this as you plan. If you have something smooth, make sure you add a bit of crunch. Remember that different bright colors look great together and appeal to the eye. A more appealing meal may be crunchy green beans, grapes, breaded chicken sandwich on a whole wheat bun, and fluid milk. Just like adults, children don't normally like to eat the same things over and over again. It's important to provide variety throughout the menu so that those eating with you don't get bored and stop participating with the meal program. Variety is also important for a balanced diet. For example, a variety of different colored fruits and vegetables offer your participants different nutrient loads. Now that you have your considerations and menu planning basics, you're set to build your cycle menus. Head to the next training, Cycle Menus Part 3, to learn how. In accordance with federal civil rights law and U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA civil rights regulations and policies, the USDA, its agencies, offices, and employees, and institutions participating in or administering USDA programs are prohibited from discriminating based on race, color, national origin, sex, disability, age, or reprisal or retaliation for prior civil rights activity in any program or activity conducted or funded by USDA. Persons with disabilities who require alternative means of communication for program information, example Braille, large print, audio tape, American Sign Language, etc., should contact the agency, state, or local where they applied for benefits. Individuals who are deaf, hard of hearing, or have speech disabilities may contact USDA through the Federal Relay Service at 800-877-8339. Additionally, program information may be made available in languages other than English. To file a program complaint of discrimination, complete the USDA Program Discrimination Complaint Form, AD 3027, found online at http://usda.ascr.usda.gov/complaint_cust.html and at any USDA office, or write a letter addressed to USDA and provide in the letter all of the information requested in the form. To request a copy of the complaint form, call 866-632-9992. Submit your completed form or letter to USDA by mail at U.S. Department of Agriculture, Office of the Assistant Secretary for Civil Rights, 1400 Independence Avenue, Southwest, Washington, D.C. 20250-9410. or by fax at 202-690-7442, or by email at program.intake@usda.gov. This institution is an equal opportunity provider.